We're unboxing the vintage 5-piece deluxe chef set from Lamson. I'm Johnny. This is View to a Grill. Let's take a look at what's in the box of the Lamson vintage 5-piece deluxe set. The first thing you'll find is the inventory list. And then if you turn that over on the back, you'll find the product care guide. The Lamson vintage 5-piece deluxe chef set is made in the USA from a 420 high carbon American made steel with a 58 hardness on the Rockwell scale. If we take a look in the box, the first impression, I was really impressed. Have you ever got something and you were more impressed with it once you got it? That's how I felt about these Lamson knives. The knives are fastened to a piece of cardboard with these zip ties. You can just flip that cardboard over and clip those zip ties with a pair of scissors. Once you have them clipped, the zip ties are easily removed. And I almost forgot, you also get this microfiber towel. Let's get the biggest question answered right off the bat. Are the Lamson knives sharp out of the box? I'm going to use this receipt as my test subject, and we'll start with the 3.5-inch vintage paring knife, and that's sharp. Next, we'll test the 6-inch vintage utility knife, and that's sharp as well. Now let's test the 8-inch vintage chef's knife, also sharp. Now the 8-inch vintage Santoku cleaver, which is also sharp. Now that we know that all the knives are definitely sharp out of the box, let's take a look at the Lamson 8-inch vintage chef's knife. And my first impression is it looks great with the contrast between the stainless steel blade and the walnut handles. Here you can see that everything fits together well, and the spine has been polished to a beautiful chrome finish. Lamson also has some new branding for 2024, and the depression here next to the blade makes the pinch grip comfortable. Everything is fitted perfectly together, polished and tight. We can take a look at the blade, and it has a nice even grind for the entire length of the blade. Let's go ahead and cut a few things. First up is a stalk of celery. I'm going to leave this in real time just so you can see how the knife actually functions. And the rock and motion that I get with the blade, very comfortable, very smooth. Now I'm done slicing the celery. All the pieces have nice clean edges with a uniform shape. Now let's see how we can run through some herbs with this 8-inch vintage chef's knife. Let's go ahead and run it through a few times just so you can see a fine finished product. And check this out. All the herbs are finely sliced, separated from each other, and then the finished parsley is going to make a great garnish for however it is you're going to use it. Now let's move on to the 6-inch vintage utility knife. The utility knife has a long, narrow shape to it, and you can see where the handle and the blade come together, fits together perfectly. If we take a look where they sandwich the blade together between the two pieces of walnut, it fits together beautifully. And if we work our way down the handle, it just looks beautiful. For the utility knife, there's not a lot of knuckle room, but it's a utility knife. Now let's slice with it. Here I have a potato, and I'll cut the ends off. Very smooth. And now let's peel the potato. This is also very smooth. I'll just work my way all around the potato so you can see the nice clean slices. And then if I need to, I'll clean up the edges. And now we can slice the potato right down the center. And there you have it. The utility knife works fantastic. Now let's take a look at the 3.5-inch vintage paring knife. And the 3.5-inch vintage paring knife is, well, it's small. Now, I have a lot of knives, and one of the things that is striking me right now is the quality of these knives and the affordability of the knives. Now let's take a look on how it works peeling an apple. And I like to play a little when I'm peeling my apple, and I like to see if I can get the entire peel off intact. I like to move the apple, not the knife, and when I was done, I had won my little game, and the peel is still in one piece. And just so you know, no apples were wasted in the filming of this video. Now that we know we can peel apples let's slice some bread using the 8-inch vintage bread knife. And then here's a closer look at the bread knife. Nice, even, serrated blade. And again, very consistent craftsmanship in putting these knives together. The handle has all been put together perfectly. To test this knife out, we're going to slice a very crusty sourdough round loaf. So I'm going to go right down the center and start cutting the loaf in half. Make sure my lens is focused and continue. Also, this is the way I like to slice these round loaves. I cut them in half, I flip them on the cut side down, and then slice into slices. And as I'm looking over my work, I'm asking myself, is this the best bread knife since sliced bread? Let's check out the 8-inch vintage Santoku style cleaver. One of the knives that I think is the most fun is this Santoku style cleaver. Now take a look, it's a nice profile with a ton of knuckle room. Now let's take a look on how this knife fits together, and it's really quite boring to tell you that the finish is amazing again. The edge has a nice clean grind to it. Let me show you how it runs through an onion in no time. I'm going to leave this in real time, and there you go. Nice, even, clean slices of onion. Also, another cool thing about using this knife is that it makes pickup easy. And there you have it, the Lamson 5-piece vintage deluxe set. Now, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, subscribe to the channel. A new year is coming up quickly and you don't want to miss anything. Thank you for watching A View to a Grill. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, y'all.